Southby 10 from 14. Of some concern for Julie Fitzgerald, I think, will be the low shooting percentages for the Sydney Swifts. With Nat Sloan having shot 63 before she went off, Anderson 64, Altschwager 67. So it's a tribute to the defence of Chatfield and Taverner, but you've got two Australian defenders there. Chocolate drives it straight to the top for Southby and McMahon. That's copybook Phoenix stuff.
Certainly was. It was a lovely drive under the circle. Sherelle McMahon is just so quick, and usually Ella finds her nicely under the post.
Akel, Anderson, Altschwager. The three A's have got it. Anderson. Gee, there was a short 3 feet in there from somebody. Oh, in each other's pocket. No comment, Shelley. You're allowed to bag the umpire. Now you're not playing.
Yeah, but I might be going back, so I'm gonna, I can't say too much.
Oh, well. It's off Gillette, picked up by Jacobson. Now Chocolate. Southby looking for McMahon.
Phoenix are really having to work it around, and I think that's the key. They have to be patient in attack. They have to try and get it onto the circle, and obviously it's a lot easier to feed to their shooters if they can hit the top of the circle.
Obstruction against Liz Ellis. Six penalties against Liz, 10 against Broadbent, Madison Broadbent. Top scorer on the penalty count on the other side, Kelly Venice with 9 in the midcourt.
Well, the crowd didn't like that one. I actually thought that Jacobson had her hands on that one first, but obviously the umpire didn't think so.
Inside, pass the shot up with where the keeper is now. That's it.
Swifts get it back to 1, and they do through Megan Anderson. Disputed possession.
We couldn't really see it, but ouch. Ella got hit in the process.
Phoenix through Jacobson, throw in. Southby.
That was a good swing there by Eloise Southby. I mean, it was certainly what she had to do to open up the circle, and then it enabled Sherelle McMahon to drive through and take that ball under the post.
Southby, the only one who really went for that rebound, curiously. Ellis and Broadbent just kind of looked at each other. A little bit surprised they didn't go through, I think. Southby seems to be okay. No blood from the mouth. Anderson. And a feed from Gillette. Well, should be given another opportunity. Well, Altschwager will. Taverner tried to defend too and did a pretty good job.
It's good body positioning there by Taverner to get herself in front of Altschwager. There's a lot of height difference there, but if you can get your positioning right, then you usually, and you're in front, then you've got more of a chance, obviously, to get the ball.
Jacobson, Southby, and McMahon. That's better play from Phoenix.
It is. They're letting the ball go. They're a lot more confident down there between each other. I think the move to put Sherelle out on goal attack was probably the right one to make.
And with the centre pass, a chance to stretch it to 4 goals if they can convert again. Ellis came out. And the Swifts were not going to allow a quick pass into the circle when they had two defenders out, and Southby was back. Would have been a certain goal, but
it certainly would have been. However, they've got 2-on-1 at this stage, and as I mentioned before, when Bianca came out and misread the ball, sometimes it does happen to even, you know, the Liz Ellises.
Phoenix indeed push it out to 4 goals, so the Swifts need to answer here before three-quarter time, which is just 50 seconds away. Gilsonen, Anderson, Altschwager, nice lead out to escape Chatfield. Now she's got to work her way back in. She does that. Of course, a big stride and an accurate goal. Not quite. Chatfield with the rebound. There was a whistle, though. And there'll be another shot opportunity for Jane Altschwager. The crowd Lets the umps know what they think. Under 30 left. Phoenix, can they re-establish a 4-goal lead? Time enough. Venice. Taverner. Jacobson. Now they can work it into the circle, even though McMahon was forced out. And the shot has been awarded before that whistle. So this is the last action, and it's a good one. An excellent result there from Eloise Southey, as she bangs in 14 goals now from 18 attempts. And Phoenix just establishing a lead at a break for the first time. 12 all at quarter time, 21 all at half time, but now they're up by 4.
And Steve, looking at the stats for three-quarter time for the Sydney Swifts, Olschwager's come on, and she took a while to get into it, but I think she sort of, you know, she's missed 4 goals, and I suppose that's understandable, but there's still a lot of turnovers there, and I think that's what's hurting both teams.
So at three-quarter time, Phoenix, can they go on and win their first match against the Swifts in 7 encounters? They're up 36-32. Can the Swifts whittle away at this 4-goal lead established by Phoenix in that third quarter? Broadbent across to Gilsonen. Anderson. They just need a little more constructive return out of their goalers. I think Taverner and Chatfield have been doing a terrific job on Anderson and Sloan first of all, and Olschwager since she's come on, and it's Julie Fitzgerald, the Swifts coach, thinking about her options there, and Olschwager and Anderson swapping positions. Let's have a look at what's going on. Melbourne Phoenix have brought Susan Meany back into the game. She started at wing attack, but she comes on now at centre for Kelly Venice. For the Swifts, Anderson and Olschwager have simply swapped. Yes, Meany began at wing attack, and Venice was the starting centre. Jacobson came on for Meany at wing attack earlier in the game, and now Meany's back on. And quarter by quarter, you see how even it was through the first half. 12 all and 21 all. Then a 4-goal lead for Phoenix at three-quarter time, and now 36-33. So it's there for the taking, but Phoenix just started to build something in that third quarter. It was hard to sort of easily identify it, Shelley, but where do you think they might have established that tiny advantage in that third period?
I think they started, with the move for Sherelle McMahon out into goal attack. I think that she created a lot more out in that goal, up that goal end, and they were able to convert some quick goals, get some quick balls to each other, and I think that's probably where
they just looked a little more confident, didn't they?
That's
McMahon playing out a little bit more away from Liz Ellis. Perhaps she's more comfortable on Alison Broadbent. Let's see, as it's a 4-goal lead again for Phoenix, 1 each in the last quarter so far. Early days. Olschwager, see if she can live up to her big new reputation. Still learning the game, obviously, at her age.
That's right, but it was a good tap there by Megan Anderson. Gave her another opportunity to get a goal on the board.
Olschwager, 20 years of age. We've got some young players making their way into the Australian side. It's an issue very much on the mind of the Australian Cricket Board at the moment. And all these successful veterans, there's no room for the youngsters. Well, Jill McIntosh has been able to draft a few in.
That's right, and I think they have to look forward. They have to look at the Commonwealth Games next year, and then the World Championships following the year after.
Ellis, never an easy decision to retire. Sure, when you're at the top, one that you can identify with, Shelley.
That's right. Yeah, it's a hard decision to make. I mean, you just love playing at that level. You love playing for Australia, representing your country, but there comes a time when you do have to call it quits, and I think I did right at the right time for me personally.
Altschwager. Back to Broadbent, across to Gilsonen. They can pull it back to 1 here. And turnovers in this last quarter in such a close game are going to be crucial, as is the goal shooting, and Altschwager slots that one.
It's a nice confident shot there by Altschwager, and having a look at the Swifts attack end, they've got a fairly inexperienced attack end on at the moment, and so full credit to them. We'll see whether they can, you know, finish the game off confidently and strongly.
Gee, there's a lot of player movement as the team in possession looks to shake their markers. And that goal there, there are players everywhere.
You would expect at this stage of the game, being the final quarter, that the likes of the Southby and McMahon will, being the experience too.
Gillette just put the foot over the line into the circle. Well spotted. Kate Wright and Michelle Phippa, the umpires, have had a pretty good start to the new season. A couple of boos going up for unpopular decisions, but you're going to get that, aren't you?
You are.
McMahon and Ellis arriving a little late to try and get the rebound. And possession is given to Ellis. Gee, that was a hotly disputed one. How'd you see it,
was.
Cheryl?
I think it was Liz Ellis's, though. I think she had front position.
Swifts, and they get it back to 1. Anderson has that opportunity now as Taverner defends. And she'll get another go. And there's Chatfield. I'm sure she knew that it had to come back, but
you never know. You see what you can get away with out there.
Taverner to Mimi. Chocolate. Looking, penalties are very even now after the Swifts have conceded quite a few more early in the match, but they're just 46 to 43 now. So perhaps they've adjusted to the umpiring style or settled down a little themselves. Phoenix still with a healthy lead in the rebounds, 17 to 9.
And it is an important stat if you can get the rebounds from the missed goals, and obviously you're giving your team another opportunity.
Chatfield.
It's a lovely intercept there by Chatfield.
Yeah, almost pulled it out of the hands of Anderson, but it was absolutely clean. No doubt about that one. As McMahon finds Meany into the corner, goes Jacobson. And here is a telling moment in the match as Phoenix get to 40. The crowd sensing a swing of momentum here.
Phoenix will want to obviously hold on to this lead now and just build from here.
I mentioned the Swifts have won the last 6 encounters between these sides. They've met on 9 occasions, 2 wins for Phoenix, and there's also been a draw. So this is their 10th match.
It was great pressure there, forcing the held ball.
McMahon. Swifts just looking to go that extra step this year. In 4 years it's been played, they've never finished worse than 3rd, but never better than 2nd.
Nice deceptive pass there by Eloise Southby.
Anderson.
Construction Centre.
7 to go. Southby across to Meany. This for a 5-goal lead. Sherelle McMahon, 39 attempts. She certainly had more opportunities than anyone else in the game. Next highest, Megan Anderson with 26. So a lot of the ball has been fed to McMahon, and we've got an injury Alison Broadbent. Let's see how this happened. Ooh, just a little bit of a shoulder or an elbow. Accidental. I don't think McMahon had any idea that Broadbent was that close. With the shot, it's Sherelle McMahon. Tends not to miss from that range.
No, and Phoenix have got a healthy lead now. There's currently six in front, and as long as they can keep the momentum going and keep steady, I think the shots are actually finally going in for them, which is good to see.
Swifts shot up to 38. It's actually 43, 38 at the moment. There we go. Meany into McMahon. Good rebound taken by Broadbent, who's not suffering any ill effects from the crack to the head.
Well, I think sometimes at this stage of the game also, Phoenix had a little bit of a run on. I know that she did actually get hit, but it's probably worthwhile that she did sort of call time and let her team sort of settle and get together and regroup.
Well, that's not what they needed. The Swifts, a step call against Michelle Gillette. Chatfield, Chocolate, Meany. So just 5.5 minutes for the Swifts to pull in this 5-goal lead, and surprisingly low-scoring game. They'll be lucky, Phoenix, to get to 50. They might. 43, 7 to go. Guess on a goal a minute at least. Southby now 15 from 20. That's an easy conversion, even some of my humble arithmetic ability. Anderson offloads to Altschwager. Meany, Jacobson and Southby. Oh, still looking very sharp, Sherelle McMahon, but so too was the attempt from Ellis, but obstruction called.
It was nice to see Jacobson actually hit the top of the circle. It's amazing how much easier it is to feed, and Sherelle's body positioning is so strong.
Here's Ellis. She made a good leap at it, but it was just ruled obstruction. Swift's ball, but down by 6. It's 4 minutes to go, Shelley. It's just about too much for them in a low-scoring game.
And that's right, Steve. However, you never can tell. Goals can be got in limited time, so they're still not out of it. And Phoenix wouldn't want to relax at this stage of the game. There's only 5 in it. All it needs is a couple of turnovers, and then they're right back in the game. So certainly not over yet. But at this stage, like you said, with the game, with being such a low-scoring game, you would probably expect that if Phoenix could just keep going, that's the thing that's been working for them really well. I think with having Sherelle McMahon out in goal attack, Ella Southby coming out for a lot of those leads, and leaves the circle wide open for Sherelle to drive into, and it's worked very well for them.
You have to give some credit to Chocolate and Taverner, because Anderson shooting in this match at 67%, and her average against Phoenix is 74%, so that's a couple of goals that she's down. So the defence has done a great job. So it's 2.5 to go. 6 the lead. Gillette. Oh, the no-look pass from Altschwager to Anderson, who at least knew it was coming, and it's nicely finished. Pulls it back to 5. But it's a Phoenix centre pass, and they need a couple of turnovers quickly, the Swifts. Phoenix look like they intend to be too steady with it. Altschwager Oh, picked off by Chatfield. Well, they needed to take some risks, I suppose, the Swifts. And saw it coming with the Phoenix defence. Obstruction against Ellis. McMahon, another goal. And I think we can write in the first points of the year for Melbourne Phoenix. And this is an important win for them. Liz Ellis, Swifts captain, checks the scoreboard and makes grim reading at the end of what has been a very close match. Still 90 seconds to go. Phoenix by 7. And it was a long time in coming, this dominance by Phoenix. But perhaps the switch of McMahon and Southby was the telling one. Remember, Phoenix are here without their coach, Joyce Brown. And Joyce, you'll be proud of the team, what they've achieved here in Game 1 for 2001. And Michelle McKenzie and Simone McInnes have helped to steer the team to a good win. And I'm sure they can't wait to have Joyce back. Meany through Jacobson to Southby. And they're playing with growing confidence, and those stats are lifting all the time as Southby 17 from 22, 77%. Gillette, Megan Anderson drives along the baseline. Altschwager can't keep it in, but that's actually ruled to be having come off Chatfield. And that was showing not taken correctly, so it's a loose execution from the Swifts. But they're desperate at this point as the timekeeper gets out of a chair. Phoenix have indeed got themselves to 50. And that last attempt wouldn't have counted, but it doesn't matter from Phoenix's point of view because they've got the win. And in the end, 50-42, they've been able to restrict the Swifts to just 10 goals in that last quarter. And Phoenix 50, they got a 14-10 last quarter, so they doubled their three-quarter time lead of 4. And let's have a look at some stats right across the match. And the penalties, not much in it, although early they were against the Swifts. Rebounds, well, that is telling when you look at those for Taverner and Chatfield, who had 15 between them. Turnovers, 4 more against Phoenix. Intercepts, not much in that. And the attempts were even, but a slightly better goal shooting percentage produced in the end by McMahon and Southby, who seemed to benefit from the switch. And the scoreline, a good one for Phoenix as they get a nice result, 50-42 over the Sydney Swifts. Shelley O'Donnell has a happy Liz Taverner with her.
Thanks, Steve. I certainly do. And Liz, what a great performance that you put out there on the court in the first game of the 2001 trophy. It's great to have the first points on the board.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, for the first half, both teams were really erratic, and it was just, I think it was a case of the first team steadying it was, you know, the team that was going to probably flow through to the end of the game. So to, yeah, get 4 points on the board and also to win by 8 against the team that we haven't beat for a long time, it's great.
I was going to say that, Liz, actually, that going into that game, were you aware of your win-loss ratio and the fact that you haven't actually beaten them in your last 6 encounters?
Yeah, I only knew that we hadn't won for a couple of years. I didn't realise it was, you know, more than 2 years. But I certainly didn't feel that pressure that they had beaten us every encounter recently. But no, it was a really good effort from everyone, particularly in the second half. There was a couple of players that really stood up.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it was probably due to the fact that it was the first game of the season. It took both teams a little while. There was a high error rate. And what did you think about the high error rate and perhaps the accuracy in goals? It wasn't sort of there, I suppose, for the first game of the season, though you expect that?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the percentages from the goalers, but there was certainly a number of unforced errors, and I'm sure there was felt like it was in the hundreds for both teams. It was so erratic, and the umpire was erratic as well. I think it's just pre-season nerves, and I think everyone will be happy to get this game out of the way and get stuck into the season.
Thanks very much, Shelley. Well done on your first commentary assignment, and congratulations also to Melbourne Phoenix for that 8-goal win over the Swifts. Well, we'll follow the Swifts back to Sydney next week for their local derby with the Sandpipers. It should be another great clash between the two top 4 aspirants. That game can be seen at 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, except in South Australia and the Northern Territory.